Well, hello there. The last couple of race weekends with PRO86, there's been a decent amount of attention and questions, and so I wanted to put together a little video to go ahead and share some of the background and reasoning and why this class was created and some of its aspects that make us pretty excited. But I figured I'd open up with a little bit of a footage from last weekend. Three of us were out there, had some great racing at Pacific Raceways. The cars were proved out in this spec, and the lap times were terrific, and the racing was terrific. So I figured I'd go ahead and share a little bit here between Roldan and myself. Got to watch that wheel spin in second gear there. And apparently he did not spin his wheels on the exit. And then here we're going to catch up to the back of the Pro 3 group. But hilarious fun, fantastic slip angles, great racing in a car that can just take it all day long. So yeah, let me pull the volume down on this, and then we'll just leave it on the side here and hop over here. So well, let's get into like why we did this. Is obviously fun. So this is amateur racing, conference racing, and we wanted to focus on fun and definitely affordability because that's what we're here is let's have fun. Cost sustainability on a modern platform, and it can be flexible across orgs. So let's go ahead and what makes it fun is that it's fast enough to be exciting. We're doing 134 to 135 at Pacific, 128, 129 at Portland with the chicane. So it really is a fun, respectable lap time. It's an engaging platform. It feels connected. It's manual transmission, rear wheel drive, mechanical limited slip differential. The automatics can work great in this class as well. And the tire of choice here gives us quite a bit of slip angle to play with. So it really makes driving it quite a bit of fun. The cost, the donor cars are pretty inexpensive now, especially the early ones. But a 2013 to 2015, you can find really good examples of those well under $10,000. And in many cases, who cares if it has a salvage title? The rest of the car will be fine enough for racing. But yeah, you get a $8,000, $10,000 donor, and you can go ahead and build it to this class for another 15 on top of that, maybe 20 if you really want to kind of go all out. And other than the cage, pretty much everything is do it yourself in the garage. It is bolt-on parts for the most part. So it's a pretty inexpensive, all things considered, a pretty inexpensive and low barrier to entry. The nice thing is that several of us, through our racing with T4 and STL, we've already done the R&D and the hardship and discovered what breaks quickly and what you need to do to preserve things. So it's all done. So you can start off with all of that mitigation done ahead of time. And then the magic here is the fourth bullet point, 200 treadwear tires. They're so good now. So a 245 wide Hankook RS4 on a 17 by 9 wheel is brilliant. It uses the whole contact patch, and they're under $200. They take the heat. They last all season. Literally 2 sets of tires, and that's your whole season. It's absolutely astonishing. I did 1 year with SCCA where we were doing the runoffs as well, and I think my tire budget for that year was $10,000. That isn't that insane? And it's worse now because Hoosiers for this size are $430, $440 a tire. Insanity. Talk about losing the plot. So This is a great way to have a lot of fun and keep the cost down. The other thing is the rule set: reliable drivetrain and motivation to not touch it. So stock engine, stock transmission, stock differential, just take it out there and run it. And then when you do need to replace something, nothing lasts forever. It's pretty inexpensive. You can find a whole used engine for under $3,000 in some cases, definitely under $5,000. Maybe it's just a block. Maybe you spun a bearing or something for some reason and you just need a short block. You can buy a fully assembled, pistons ready to go inside of it, short block from Toyota for $1,900. Isn't that awesome? So no more visiting engine builders and machine shops and all of that jazz. It's brilliant. Sustainability. This is a big part of it. Is we're operating these cars within their design tolerances. And I know I'm jumping to the third point here, but the important thing here is that this car can take it. So it makes it great for sprint racing and enduro racing. You don't have to seam weld anything. You don't have to reinforce anything. You're not worried about your subframes cracking. In fact, the car that you're seeing in the video, I bought that in 2012 as a street car. So I put 86,000 miles on it before I turned it into a race car. And then I did 5 seasons of racing on it from there, on the same lower control arm and ball joints that the thing came with in 2012. And I only recently replaced them, for example. The wheel bearings are easy to replace because they're a bolt-on affair. You don't have to press out bearings and press in hubs. You just buy a new one and bolt it in and off you go. This car is highly supported in the aftermarket. So you can find a lot of parts, even body parts, in the aftermarket, even on Amazon. It's pretty great. And then the rule set is very much developed with a focus on limiting development and keeping the operational expenses low. One of the nice things is that it's modern. You get a modern vehicle, you get the ease of diagnosis. Now, some people might complain having to have software and fire up a computer and plug it in to diagnose your car is more complicated, but I would argue it's less because that's an effort, but then what you have is you have the car literally telling you what's wrong in most cases. Very rarely is it a false negative or false positive. But what's nice about the modern version of the car is that you do get some benefits like ABS, and just drilling into ABS doesn't necessarily make you faster, so it's not like something is replacing talent. But what's nice is if you do get in over your head, it doesn't result in a big smoky lockup and sends you off into the weeds or somebody else's car. The ABS can do a lot to help mitigate the negative outcomes of a mistake, especially if nothing else is involved, at least not flat spotting tires anymore. This car specifically, many modern cars are not easy to work on. This one is. So this is easy to work on. I know the Boxer layout makes it a little more challenging to do spark plugs and coil packs, but that aside, changing a diff, getting to a clutch, pulling a transmission, very easy, basic parts or basic tools needed. It's pretty fantastic. And the nice thing is that these cars have a wide appeal. So it is a relatively attractive car. It appeals to a lot of people. It has that going for it as well. And then finally, flexibility. This is a fantastic aspect of this car and this build specifically, is that it can go a lot of places without much to do to it. So let's think just in conference, we will be adding it. I'm going to submit a rule proposal to add PRO86 to CT4 now that we know what the lap times are. So it's absolutely right there for CT4 lap times. That's going to be a place for them. But also Group 8, so the Mini Enduro. So you get Group 2, Group 5, and Mini Enduro. That's a lot of racing in a weekend. You can share the car with a friend or a loved one, multi-group racing, multi-person racing, and then SCCA, if you want to go do SCCA in it. It's like 90% of an STL build. That's not true. It's probably more like 75% of an STL build, but it's pretty competitive. You just have to get a set of 17x7s and some Hoosiers for it. But Roldan did that. He bolted on his Hoosiers and went and podiumed at the Hoosier Super Tour. And then the West Coast Touring Car Championship. or the Western Touring Car Championship. That's a 200 treadwear class. A lot of great racing in California if you want to go down and race with them. And what's nice about that organization is that they're very anti-contact. So, it's not like, it's not Rutgers or Checkers. You can go down and have fun with them and kind of have a nice expectation of clean racing. WRL, this is endurance racing. And what's nice about that is they go to a lot of tracks all over the country. And the car's very competitive. Roldan went and did WRL at Thunder Hill and podiumed on both days. So very exciting stuff. Same 200 treadwear series. And then LuckyDog, of course. This is the LuckyDog tire, the Hankook RS4. So it's perfect. You can just kind of pick and choose and go where you like. It's going to have a wonderful home here in conference. I think it's going to grow. Several people are building cars right now. So we have 4 cars today. There's a fantastic one pretty much ready to go for sale if somebody wanted to pick up an easy button. But I've heard there's like 4 or 5 or others building. So what I wanted to do was provide this background on why this class exists and why we did it the way we did it. And what's going to be nice is that the racing is going to be cost effective and it's going to be fun in a platform that's current with parts availability in a very sustainable way. So that is the goal here. So I appreciate you all paying, giving this some time and your attention to the class. And if you, wherever I've posted this, if you have any questions, please reach out. We'd love to have you join us. Thank you very much.